hit the beach is a defensive call where we are in a complete pile of whatever, and we've got to, you know, go in, stop it, and do anything, stop the ball. And we scream, hit the beach.
In their next game against Samoa, the whole perfect password-protected game plan came off the rails. With 8 minutes gone, England were 10 points down and in danger of being the fall guys of the greatest World Cup shock result ever. If the team looked rattled from the stands, the players tell another story.
We knew we had to just cut the penalties out and just dominate territory and possession, and we'd get there.
In all fairness, though, at one point where Johnny missed the kick in front of the post, it hit the post. Oh, yeah. That's when you start thinking, 10 points down, Wilco can't knock one over in front of the sticks. Oh, we could be in the shit here.
It's nice to see he's still human.
Yeah, exactly.
If their star players were misfiring, the team as a whole came through.
You're part of the team, you are part of the squad, that everyone has a role. You stick to the team's rules and you dig in for everyone else.
It's always a sign of a good team, not panicking, and that's one thing we've learned. We've got this, I keep saying win ethic, but just a ruthlessness to try and win.
England won 35-22. From day one, Woodward has demanded of his team a level of discipline never asked of an England side before. It's an almost evangelical devotion to the team, its basic commandments set down in the Black Book.
I mean, the Black Book is, you know, we have a you know, we're not creating any myth about it. We just have a set of rules which are laid down by the coaches and the players, and they're something that we've all thought up together. And we're all very happy with it.
The Black Book, yeah. And you know, to be honest, most of the players didn't have to read that because they know what's expected of them. But it's there in black and white. You know, if there's ever a problem, you know, it's there in black and white for you.
The biggest thing, the rules are put in by the players. So what happens, for example, just think of any topic. Think of punctuality. What we've done is I asked the players to go away and discuss punctuality, not me. I'm not in the room. They came back with, okay, our rules on punctuality are this. Punctuality is 10 minutes early. So if I call a meeting at 10 o'clock, their rules, not my rules, their rules of the team, they'll be there at 10 to 10, sitting down ready to go. Simple things like how are they going to write their books? How are they going to handle the press? So they discuss it, I sign it off, and that's what's happened. So when you see how they operate, you know, I can't recall anyone ever being late for a meeting.
The fixation with timekeeping goes beyond politeness. For Woodward, it's the difference between victory and defeat.
If a player did come late, I wouldn't say you're late. I'd say you've just cost us the World Cup. You've just cost the World Cup. You're not setting standards that allow us to become the best team in the world.
Can I just say, I just think at the moment we're exactly where we wanted to be. Exactly where we wanted to be. Played through, won through. That's all we had to do. Clearly there are areas that need tweaking, but I believe it's just tweaking one or two things, no more than that. I also think when you get up to Brisbane now, you'll see the amount of supporters, the World Cup will really kick in.
As the team set off for Brisbane, however, one man's mistake was threatening to undo the years of hard work and sacrifice. In the heat of the game against Samoa, with Tyndall sidelined with an injury, Woodward had overruled the fourth official and sent Luger on as blood replacement. At the same moment, Tyndall rejoined the fray. For 34 seconds, England had 16 men on the pitch. The Australian press had a field day. Woodward was hauled before an IRB court.
We talk about pressure and, you know, making the wrong calls. That was the wrong call by me, which I regret. What was the right call by me is having a QC down there, because when we went down to Sydney, this was a serious situation, and I've never been so nervous in my life almost, because it's like a courtroom. You had prosecution, you know, defence, you know, and a judge making the call, and they had the ability to take points off us, which could have, you know, cost us the World Cup. And my heart was going big time.
His pre-tournament insistence for a QC in the squad was his get-out-of-jail-free card.
Richard Smith was absolutely incredible. You know, he was awesome.
They could have been deducted points and forced to meet the All Blacks in their next match.
And we got a £10,000 fine. So that was it. So we left very happy. It'll never happen again. And I learned a huge lesson that day.
Back in Brisbane, the fatigued Uruguayans were swept aside 111 points to 13. Played for, won for. Team spirits were in as good a shape as ever.
It's a good group. It's a good bunch of lads to be involved with. The banter's pretty... when the wolf pack turns on you, you know it's your time to take the abuse, shut up, and hopefully it'll move and shift on to someone else as quickly as possible. There's certain people who don't get talked back to. I mean, Jono would be one, Lawrence would be up there, Leonard would be another, and then there's the other lads who are sort of very quick and very witty.
The mating ritual.
They'll just hang out together. There's no sort of, well, apart from the Leicester clique, which there always is because they're slightly boring, everyone else just it doesn't matter who you sort of bump into, just quite happy to hang around with anyone, go for coffee with.
And Johnny, of course.
And when you see Johnny,
if you see him,
if you see him after he gets off a pitch at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, Johnny's out all the time, you know. Always
womanising, drinking.
Amongst the banter and the in-jokes, one man is isolated.
I can't recall I've ever been out socially with the players, ever, in 6 years. You have to have a distance, because one, you've got to give them tough decisions. There's going to be a time where you've got to tell them they're not in the team, or you may not be happy with something they're doing, and you've got to go face to face with them and head to head with them. And if you've ever got too close, that can be awkward. I like to get reasonably close to the person captain the team. Got pretty close to Johnson, especially the last couple of years. The choice of captain is very, very important. You want a guy who you can sit down, who's bright enough to kind of take on board the things you're saying, and lead on them, you know. And I think Martin's favourite quote I've ever heard, he always just shrugs his shoulders and says, "Let's just get on with it."
Well, you know, he's in charge of the team, and I'm the captain of it, and we have a relationship based on that, and we get on pretty well, and you know, it is what it is. I don't want to be able to describe it.
I'm probably quite a good talker, like to talk things through and get agreements, and he'll just go, "For Christ's sake, let's get on with it."